Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to build a team that can win Division 1 in Limited. Now, getting a podium in Limited is not easy. I have already done it though, so I do have an inkling in terms of what I'm talking about. And the prizes at the top are huge. Like, you will pay off your team in one game week if you can get that first place. That's $1,500. That's big. That's real big. So we did a video last week talking about budget teams that can really smash in the next few weeks. This video, however, is if you get in Division 1, how are you going to maximize that? How are you going to beat everyone else to win that division? We're going to plot that. By the end, I'm going to tell you exactly how much you're going to be looking at spending and how we can do it. So let's get into the video. Okay, so what we want to do is build a team that's going to win this division here. Here is the team that I've put out for this particular weekend. I've gone for a little Fulham stack at the back. So I've got Leno, Robinson. I don't know if to have Joaquin Anderson here. I haven't decided yet. Or Emil Smith-Rowe. And then I have got Alexander Isaac and Anthony Gordon. I did say in a previous video, like typically the winner of Division 1 doesn't win it with two forwards. So I am kind of going against what I've said historically happens. But to me, I haven't really got a great lot of depth in terms of people I can put in here. So I looked at it in terms of, right, who would link up well? So Newcastle have got West Ham. If Isaac scores, there's a good chance it's Gordon that's setting it up. Both are very good at getting all-around score as well. So that's what I've gone for. We can see at the moment there is only 222 people in this division. And that's why being in the top division is so important. You typically don't even need the best scores. If we compare it to like one of my other teams over here in Division 3, there is 809 people in that division, so like 4 times as many. So you've got to imagine there's going to be a lot of it's going to be quite hard to actually do that. Right, so if I was to look at winning this division, I'm going to look at the next few weeks. Let's see how they're going to look. So I'm going onto the Fantasy Football website. I know I've used previously a one on Fantasy Football Scale, so you can get these all over the place. But this one I liked because it had a little bit more, a little bit longer in terms of how many games it's showing. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game weeks projection here, we can see it's done on difficulty of fixture. Easy is dark green down to red, like the kind of maroon color as hard. And it says here it's developed by fantasy football FPL experts. They've gone through it and they've basically said like this is great. Kind of interesting though, because apparently there is not one easy fixture here. You can see they're all rated as 2. Maybe that's because in the Premier League there's no such thing as an easy fixture, or they've messed this up a little bit. I'm just trying to go through. No, I can't see any dark green. So, yeah. So what I want to do then, if I want to win this division before Christmas, I will be looking at mainly these fixtures here. So you're in the top division. It's pretty much you want to be looking at the really good teams if they've got great fixtures, because like Wolves do have a really good run of games, but if you pick Wolves players, you're kind of in a position where even if they win, like they could win 1-0, and you're probably still going to get your scores beaten by a team that, like a higher team with a better player who draws. So say Man City draw 2-2. On paper for City, that's a worse result than winning. But in terms of Sorare scoring, if you've got, say, a Kevin De Bruyne and he gets a goal or assist, he's going to probably get all-around score as well. So I would be looking at, if you're in Division 1, looking at the best players now, or trying to. So the teams that stand out for me are Arsenal. You look at that, they've not got one fixture they consider hard. So you've got Forest, West Ham, United at home, Fulham, Everton, Crystal Palace, Ipswich. That's a great run of fixtures for Arsenal. I expect them, and there's a lot of pressure on them to keep winning. So they don't want to lose. They don't want to lose touch with the top of the table. They will be going for it. Villa, not too bad. Not too bad fixture run. I really like Brighton. As you guys may know, I've got a Brighton collection, and in terms of the next few weeks, really strong for them. I may look at some Brighton players in this. Chelsea, again, very good fixture run here. Even Tottenham away, you wouldn't necessarily consider that a bad fixture, really. So we'll be looking at, so far, Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea. Who else have we got here? I won't look at Ipswich, even though they've got good fixtures. Liverpool have actually got a really hard run. By the time you watch this video, this game week may be gone as well. So let's move this on, because you're not going to build a team for this weekend. So you've got City, Newcastle away, Everton away. You've got Fulham at home, but then you've got Tottenham away. So that is a really hard run for Liverpool. I expect Liverpool not to do too well. So their players' prices are probably a little bit inflated compared to where they will be. So that's also something to take into consideration. Man City, again, a lot of pressure on Man City. Once they get Liverpool out the way, Forest at home, I would still say is a green fixture for them, really. Palace, Man United at home, I still would say that should be a green fixture. Even Villa away. So I think City have got some good fixtures here. United, I will wait on United because I know they've got a new manager, but we don't really know how he's going to set up. I think he's going to go with what he did for his previous club with three at the back. But which players suit that system? It's not worth me looking to kind of go into United at this point. We can keep an eye on them. Newcastle, not bad fixtures again. And then the other teams, Tottenham, you can't really rely on. They're too inconsistent for me. If you want to, the key thing with being in the top division, you need consistency and you need reliability. You need people you can depend on. So yeah, I'm not going to necessarily look at Spurs. So Arsenal, in terms of a defensive team, they haven't been great so far this season, but they have been a little disjointed in terms of injuries. They've been getting their players back. So I do think defensively, they are probably the team I want to look at. Brighton, very good fixtures, but they play a very high line and they do leak goals. Villa, again, not bad, so maybe we'll look at them as well. So let's go. If I'm in the top division, I probably am going to want Raya. He probably is going to be my guy. So I know he's definitely a very good keeper and he's capable of getting some very good scores. So if we were to pop him into our spreadsheet, we've got a classic 43.56. So let's have a look at Raya. What did I say? 43.56 or thereabouts. 43.56. And our cheapest in season is 59.16. Okay. 59.16. If I'm going for Raya, I'm going to want to pair him up with someone from Arsenal. I always like to have a goalie and defender combo. That way, I only need one clean sheet at weekend in their game. I'm not relying on multiple fixtures. So let's just have a look at who he's kind of got in his back line. So whenever you look through their scores, you can get to the pitch view. So I'm going to discount these internationals. I'm going to go to the last game, Chelsea game. And then if you click here, you get the pitch view, which is quite useful. So let's see. So we've got Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Timber. Again, because you're in the top division, you can't risk a DMP really. So I'm not going to be going for Timber, although I think he's a good player. I'm not sure how long Calafiori is out, but he is one of the fullbacks who could rotate in. Ben White again is a very good player. He actually is probably good value, but I'm going to look at central defence, and personally, I would go for Gabriel over Saliba. In real life, some would argue Saliba's the better defender, but in terms of Sorare scoring, it does tend to be Gabriel, who actually, it's just the way he plays the game, it works better. So Saliba is so fast and pacey, he often cuts out a ball without needing to do a tackle. So he doesn't get as much of this AA for defending. So in terms of Gabriel, if we click, so from the pitch view, you click on him, you can click on his face up here, and that will get you straight to Gabriel. You can see his scoring. He is someone who is capable of getting some goals. Set pieces for Arsenal obviously key to them picking up goals this season and last season, really. And you can see, look at this. He's definitely a very, very good, capable player. He even looks like he got a, what did he do for his national team? He got a clearance off the line for Brazil. He's had a very good couple of games in the international break, which is nice. So if I'm looking at Gabriel, well, again, we'll go on to look at his cards. So I'm going to click this all button because it doesn't always default to show us all of the players. £5.75 for the where are we? Gabriel. What did I say he was? £5.75. £5.75 for classic. And our cheapest in season at the moment, £21.79. So you can see on these premium players, there is always that is a big price difference. You've got like 4x the price to get his in season card. But we will see at the end of it. We are going to be allowed to have one classic card, so we're going to work out what is our cheapest option. But for now, I think Gabriel and Raya are one defensive duo that I'm going to look at. Brighton, like I said, I'm not going to look at Brighton. I just don't think defensively that I can rely on them. Chelsea, their fixtures aren't amazing, to be honest. They've got Villa, Southampton, Tottenham. I don't know, actually. They may be ones that I'll look at, but I would rather someone who is stronger. Man City. The problem with Man City is the amount of rotation. I don't trust Man City's. Obviously, we've got Gvardiol, who does tend to play every game, and he is actually probably worth looking at. So let's have a look at Edison first. So I want a couple of options. I don't want to just give you guys like, oh, this is the team. Let's have a look at options. Edison, cheapest goalie, £22.49. £22.49. Okay, and our in season, we have got instant buy, £39.14. Okay. Along with Edison, we do want to pick up a Gvardiol. He is my pick of the defenders. The central defenders get rotated a lot. At right back, you've got Kyle Walker, you've got Rico Lewis. Again, you can't really rely on either to be first choice. I think Gvardiol pretty much plays every game. £23.85 for the classic. Gvardiol. £23.85 for the classic. And for our in season, £35.80. No, that's just bidding, so it hasn't finished. So £36.99 for our in season. Okay. Now, I think if you're looking to win, these two are fine. These two are really good options. If we wanted to look at an off the radar one, is there do we really want to put in Wolves? Yes, they've got good fixtures, but no, I don't think they're strong enough. I don't think there's anyone. Liverpool, like I said, the fixtures, I don't think they're going to keep many clean sheets in the next few games. So maybe that's one we can reevaluate later on as the weeks go on. You know what? If I'm looking to win the league of Division 1, I do feel like Chelsea. I know Chelsea, it doesn't feel right going for them, but let's just see what the price difference is. It's worth a look. We won't probably end up going for them, but it's worth seeing what the difference is. So we've got 16 versus a 22.91. Okay. 16, 22.91. That's Sanchez. Okay. So if we go for a Sanchez, let's go and have a look. Who would be our option for defender if we were going to go for Mr. Sanchez? Look at this guy. This is why I don't really want to look at Sanchez. He has been absolutely terrible. He makes a lot of errors. Yeah, this is the problem with Sanchez. If he concedes a goal, he often is the reason they have conceded the goal. Here he conceded that penalty against Man United, which actually cost me winning Division 1 that weekend, funnily enough, because Bruno scored for someone who went above me. Error led to goal. Okay, Sanchez, who have you got? Colwell, Fofana, Gusto, Cucurella. Do you know what? I'm making a decision. Goodbye, Sanchez. You're a poor keeper. You make mistakes, and I don't think you've got a strong enough defender that we're going to want to go with you. So I think between the defenders and goalkeeper, we can look at the price difference here. Raya, if you're looking at an in-season, £60, basically £40 for an Ederson, you're looking at £20 extra to get a Raya over an Ederson. So it's up to you guys if you think that's worth the price difference. And also with the defender option, I am looking at, and the thing is, like, it kind of reverses around here. So let's have a look. In terms of total, if we were to get an in-season Raya and Gabriel, it comes to, let's have a look, £80.95 for these two. Let me just do this. I'm just going to put our combined totals in here. Okay, so if we were to get the £80.96, because I just want to lay it out so you guys know exactly what you'd be paying versus a £49.31. And then Ederson and Gvardiol in Classic, you've got £46.34. And then in season, you've got £76.13. So if you are getting the pairing, to be fair, once you look at getting the pairing, the price isn't that different. It's just that with Arsenal, it's the goalkeeper that's the pricey one, and with Everton, with Man City, it's Gvardiol. Right, I want to go for Raya. I want to go for Gvardiol, and let me put these in here. Start building up our team. Okay. So at the moment, we've already cost us £81 to build this team. So it isn't going to be a cheap team, but the point of this is you're in the top division. You want to stay there. You want people that are going to be consistent. The alternative is you go for players that play for maybe mid-range clubs, but you are having to have a bigger squad because they are not going to have plum fixtures all the time. And then suddenly you're at risk of getting relegated anyway. So this is purely a different type of video. This is looking at the best. Right, midfielders. So when we're looking at midfielders, let me get back here. Again, Arsenal midfielders, we'll be looking at, I would start looking at Brighton. Now that we've moved into past the defensive, attacking wise, they're very good. So we could look at Brighton. We could look at Chelsea. We will look at Man United for one person. With the midfielder, it's really important that they've got good all-around score. Ideally, they're on some kind of set piece, or they're just heavily involved in the game. Someone who's just come back, and if we want to go with the Arsenal again, we've got Martin Odegaard. Classic, basically £30. So we've got 30 versus 50, basically. Let's just put 30 in. Let's do it £29.99. So let's do it here, Odegaard. £29.99 versus £49.48. £48. I'm just checking. I was worried then. I was like, am I even recording? That would have been horrendous if I hadn't been recording all this time. Odegaard, Arsenal have really missed Odegaard. Look at that. He came back and he got an assist straight away in his first game back for Arsenal, really. Obviously, he did come off the bench in midweek, but this was his first proper start and he got an assist. And look at what he's capable of. He's a 100 capable player. He's a very, very good player. He's definitely on our list. So we've got him on our list. Brighton, there's a couple of guys. Matoma is a very good player. and he's going to be a more of a budget one. So you've got £5.70 compared to £13.16. Toma. The other one that I've got my eye on is Matt O'Reilly. So if we click into Matoma, we can go to pitch view again. And we have got here Matt O'Reilly, who's been injured pretty much all season. He's now back. Look what this guy is capable of. Now, I must caveat that with he was playing for Celtic in the SPFL. But can he transform this kind of form to the Premier League? Well, he came on and he played. How many minutes did he get against City? God, my eyesight's terrible. He got 33 minutes and he managed to get 11 points of all-around score and he got a goal. So all-around score is basically all types of things that go into his scoring, just generally playing the game, but winning possession, your passing, your defending, like winning tackles. He's someone that could do everything. And the thing that I like about him, he probably will be on most set pieces once he's starting. I don't think he's going to start this weekend. You may well know this by the time you watch this video, but he is going to be key to them. He was a big summer signing. So I'm going to add him to my list. He might not make the final cut, but he's definitely one I wanted to bring attention to for you guys to keep your eyes on. Because if you want someone who's maybe a little bit cheaper but has got massive potential, so look, £6.96 for his classic, £6.96. And then for his in-season, £12.85. I think that's a good bar. Look, when you look at like Brighton, look at the prices compared to an Arsenal. You're looking at like a fifth of the price. Which, when you look at the fixtures for Brighton, very, very good fixtures in the next, like all the way up to the new year, and that's what we're looking at. We're not looking for like the whole season necessarily. We're looking for the next 8. So he's going to make the list. So we've got Odegaard, we've got the Brighton boys. Someone that we've got to have on the list and is Bruno. I'm not a big fan of Bruno as a person. In fact, I hate him as a person. He very much annoys me. But as a player, in terms of Sorare scoring, he's very, very good. And that's reflected in his price. £86 is the cheapest. If you want someone who you just know is going to be on set pieces, he's going to play every single game without foul. He's key to everything United doing. United got a new manager, so they may come back into form. Look at this. Look what this guy is capable of. And that's with United not being great at the moment. So if they can turn their form around, he is one of the... That's the thing with the Premier League. There isn't a glut of amazing midfielders. There really isn't. There's probably like a handful, probably less than 5 that you say he would be in my team every week. Bruno is definitely someone you need to be looking at if you want to win the division, because you can rely on him. He's very, very good. And that brings me on to someone else who is one of the best. And we all know this guy, Kevin De Bruyne. He's back. He's going to be, it could be his last season. So he's going to be wanting to really hit the ground running now. KDB. And he costs £20.83. And he's already getting sold. Someone just bought one for £34.59. So the cheapest now is £37.44 for in season, which is actually, do you know what? That's not bad. We've got to remember, with in season now, it's all about this season's utility. In previous years, players in there getting on a bit, they're going to cost less because you can't use them for the whole career. But now it's all about one season utility anyway, really. So that is a very good price. I think we've got the keys here to a very, very good glut of midfielders. And I will probably end up having 2 of them in because, as we know, it's usually people that have 2 midfielders that will actually win the division. Kevin De Bruyne, as we know, he's been out. He's getting back into it now. Again, he's an amazing player, isn't he? He's definitely capable of getting hundreds. That was obviously a international game, but in fact, it's a shame he got injured because he was kind of building up his form. Goal, assist, and look at the all-around score. So the way that the scoring works, I'm sure you guys know, but anyone who's kind of newer, they start with a base score of 35. If they get a decisive action, i.e. a goal or an assist or wins a penalty, their base score then goes up to 60. If they get an additional one, so here he got a goal, base score went up to 60, but then he also got an assist, his base score went up to 70. So initially it goes from 35 to 60, and then everything after that goes up an extra 10. And then after you get that base score, it's all around score. And someone like Kevin De Bruyne, an almost 30-point all around score, you can look where it all comes from is actually passing. He actually loses points for possession because he tries like the really incisive pass that will get cut out probably more often than not. But if it does get through, what happens is someone like De Bruyne, he will create big chances. So he got 6 points just for creating 2 big chances, attempting an assist, 6 points there. Accurate passes, successful final third passes, he got 13 points for that. And remember, City just pretty much camp on an opponent's penalty area. So he's going to be on the ball, just racking up these points. So Kevin De Bruyne, here's our next one. So I'm going to go for Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's going to be playing most games now. Remember, there is always the risk of rotation. I can't help what Pep decides to do. We have to always consider that. And the other one, I have to go with Bruno. If this is a team to win, and at the moment this is looking like a kind of all-star, but pick and choose who you want. If you, for instance, think, oh, Matt O'Reilly, then bung him in. It'll be cheaper, and you'll be in a differential position where you've got some that probably not everyone has got. So far in season, it's come to £205. Expensive, yes, but again, we're looking at building something special here. So that leaves us with forwards. So we know Haaland is a forward that is going to bang in goals. He is someone who's reliant on getting goals. If he doesn't get a goal, you're not going to win the division. So only put him in if you think he's going to definitely score. Because when he doesn't score, we're in a world of hurt. So let's just get to Haaland, shall we? And we'll look at his scores. So here he got a hat-trick. Right, let's get to Haaland. Okay, forget this international. This is what he's been doing recently. If you look at this season, he doesn't really get these dark greens very often for someone who plays in such a good team, and even scoring. So you look against Brighton, he scored, so he got his base score went up to 60, but look at his all-around score, minus. He just doesn't do anything apart from score. So really, if you're going to be putting him in your team, if you want to win the division, you need him to be getting multiple goals. That's why personally, I'm going to recommend against him. Obviously, this is my recommendation. It doesn't mean I'm not going to put him in. I don't think he's strong enough for me. So you might think, well, who are we going to be putting in? And there is obviously someone called Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer is a forward. So again, look at these kind of scores when he's scoring. Now let's look at Cole Palmer, who was changed to a forward this season. Last season he counted as a midfielder. So his cheapest. The thing is, if you get the classic, he's not a forward. That's the problem. So you have to buy the in-season, which is 81.89. Okay, 81.89, which isn't even the most expensive player. He's actually cheaper than Bruno. I'm surprised by that, actually. I wouldn't have expected it. I thought Cole Palmer would have been the most expensive person we put into our team. So he hasn't been great recently, but he is capable of getting the dark green. You see how with Haaland, he got one goal and he was on 60. Well, Cole Palmer, he gets one decisive action and he's on 96. He gets the 100. So if we look at this game, for example, could Compare it to what we looked at with Bruno. So he's got 1 goal, got his 60, but look at his all-around score, 36.6. That is crazy. And that's because he is Mr. Chelsea at the moment. He creates everything. He drops deep. He pings those through balls into the forward players like Neto. He's a great player. He is a really good player. So Cole Palmer, I would say Cole Palmer has to be... Oh, I've actually put Bruno in the wrong place there, haven't I? Bruno, what are you doing there, mate? You need to be here. So Cole Palmer. The other one is Saka. And in this video, I'm not exactly pulling up trees in terms of hidden gems here. But if you're in Division 1, you do need to have these star players. What I would say is you don't need to have all of them together, because likelihood is that won't work. And I'll explain why in a minute. So £74.37 for Saka. Okay, so I would say Cole Palmer is the guy I would have, and he's 81.89. So an in-season team would cost us, of the absolute premium for the next few fixtures, these all look like they're going to do really well. I should not have put Raya and Gabriel together. Why did I do that? No, Raya. I should have put Raya and Gabriel. Why have I put Raya and Gvardiol? It was Gabriel all this time. So yeah, I hope that you spotted that. So Raya, Gabriel, Kevin De Bruyne, Cole Palmer, and Bruno. That is a premium. The only thing I would say, if you were to go out and buy this team today, obviously you could have the classic Bruno, so you could end up paying, instead of 286, you could end up paying 255. You could get this team for 255 by having a classic Bruno. The issue you're going to have is that there probably will be people out there that have got this exact team and may have them on higher XP. So what I would suggest, what I'm saying is, these I think are the 5 individual best players for the next few weeks. Personally, if I was buying, what I would do, I would pick 4, and 1 I would just go for someone a little bit different. I would go for maybe a Matt O'Reilly, maybe a João Pedro as a forward. João Pedro. Because again, we've seen Brighton's fixtures, they're really, really good. João Pedro, again, he's recently back from injury. As a forward, he takes penalties. He gets involved in play. And going down here, look at that. He came back against Manchester City. Yes, Manchester City. He played 23 minutes. In 23 minutes, he got almost 10 points of AA. He got a goal and an assist. This guy, if you want a bit of more of a budget option, he isn't obviously as good, but given Brighton's fixtures, I think this guy, when you could get him for £15.88 as an in-season, look at the price difference there. So this is the decisions you guys need to make, because I personally would do that. Who would I sacrifice? But that's the other thing. Like, I don't really want to sacrifice any of these. If you are going to go for a differential on this team, I would probably say the defender is the best place, because Gabriel, defenders are defenders. You might want to go for a Trent. You might want to go for who else could you go for? A Pedro Porro. Like, there's a lot of options, but I'm going to put my hat on this team as being the best possible team that you can buy at the moment. Very expensive in season. Obviously, as a classic, that isn't even including. You can't even get a classic Cole Palmer forward card. So I'm interested to know what you guys would say. Who are you? Have I missed someone obvious? Potentially. I'm not saying that this is only way to win, but if you had unlimited funds, this is the way to go. Last week I did one on a budget, so you might want to check that out. I did a really good team that you can do on a real tight budget. There are teams like Liverpool. I haven't got any Liverpool players in, but it's because of the fixtures. That's the whole reason. I could put Salah in, but his fixtures are hard. So I'm looking at it purely based on the fixtures as well. Spurs, you could say, like, let's put Son in. Maybe. But they're very inconsistent, Spurs. Son's just back from injury. Newcastle, you could slip in a couple of Newcastle. So there's lots of ways of doing it, but what I would always recommend you guys do, go to obviously fancy Premier League, go to the fixtures, use this tool, because there's no point putting someone in who has like really hard fixtures. You're going to make it hard for yourself. For example, Forest have been really good, but their fixtures coming up, once they get Ipswich got out of the way, they've got City, United, Villa, Brentford away, which isn't easy, Tottenham, Everton away. Like, they've been the talk of the town for the start of the season, but yeah, they're going to struggle. Which is why I really like Brighton, because Brighton have actually had a really hard run of games, and the fact that they're doing so well in the table, and now they've got these fixtures coming up, yeah, Brighton are definitely my team to look out for the next few weeks. So that's the end of the video, guys. Hope you like the lineup building there. If you have any suggestions, then put them in the bottom, and yeah, let's have a great weekend.